What's good, Commanders fans? Just want to do a quick studs and duds video. I do this every season, really after a win. So I'm excited to get back to this. I just want to shout out to everybody who tailed the pick on Prize Picks. Brian Robinson getting over 57.5 rushing yards. He ended the day with 59, so you definitely hit on that. And over on half a passing yard for Dak Prescott using my promo code RealEdOliver. Get 100% deposit match up to $100 on Prize Picks using the link down below in the description. I did put it up, but I put it up late again on my community tab for over 60.5 rushing yards. So if you tell that pick, you didn't hit, but if you tell the pick that I put out Friday night, then you definitely hit. That's why you got to get your picks in early. So shout out to the people who tailed on those picks for sure. The Giants, they look goodness awful, darn awful last night. They got smoked 40-0. They got skunked, hand over the sticks in Madden, skunked in their own house. That was just an awful performance on the Giants. It just frustrates me so much that Daniel Jones can only play good against us. And I know he had a good game against the Packers. He had a good game against the Vikings defense last year in the playoffs, even though the Vikings pass defense was one of the worst defenses in the league last year. But he can only really play well against the Eagles. They got their butts kicked against the Eagles in the playoffs, 38-7. So it just feels like the only time he can play well in the NFC East is against us, and it's very, very frustrating. So I really hope that doesn't happen this year. But they look bad, man, in their own house, 40-0. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, I thought it was going to be a competitive game, but they got skunked, man. They really got skunked. And some of the Giants fans' reactions were pretty funny. Like, somebody put Saquon Barkley was walking through the tunnel with his fit on. It was like a jean jacket or something like that. And one of the Giants fans was like, "We're going to lose by 40 tonight." And they predicted it before the game even started. So that was hilarious. But let's focus on our team. Studs and duds. I got some PFF grades here as well. It's whatever you guys think about PFF. You take it with a grain of salt. But it does give you somewhat of a measuring stick on some things here. And I'll just go with my own studs. It's pretty easy. Montez Sweat was a dog. He stood out, man. He dominated the game. The strip sack, the half a sack with him and Abdullah Anderson, him stopping the run. He was the best player on the field. It was really between him, John Allen, and Daron Payne, and basically just the whole defensive line. I mean, those guys, they won the football game. We don't win that game without Montez Sweat putting us in field position, good field position, because our offense was not able to really start from their own 20 and move the ball. Like, even the one touchdown drive we had, it was a pass interference that Terry McLaurin forced on Marco Wilson, which was a good play. Then we had a late hit, and then there was another late on Jahan Dotson. So some of the penalties did help that drive. But other than that, man, we just weren't able to generate any offense on our own. It had to be the defense making a play to set us up in good field position, or Josh Dobbs fumbling the ball and putting us in good field position. So the defense won this game. Montez Sweat, he's trying to get paid. He's trying to get a bag for sure. If he's on this pace like this, he certainly will get paid from somebody. And I hope it's us, but he definitely will get paid for sure. He dominated out there. 1.5 sacks, forced fumble. Keep it up, Montez. That's what I'm talking about. I love seeing that from him. John Allen had a 90.2 PFF grade. He was our highest defensive player. 87.1 run defensive grade, 47.9 tackling grade, and a 75.0 pass rush grade. He was dominating, man. Getting back there, like the swim move we put on guys. He was just living in the backfield. Rushing the passer. Stopping the run. John Allen was just dominant, man. And I was just thinking this morning, these guys, John Allen deserves to go on a deep playoff run. Before his career is over, he deserves to be on a playoff run. Him and Daron Payne and those guys, John Allen, Daron Payne, Montez Sweat, they deserve to make the playoffs and go on a deep playoff run. These guys are playing like playoff high-level football already, and they deserve it for sure. So I hope they get that opportunity before their career is over. Daron Payne was dominant. He scooped up a fumble. He was aggressive and got that. He just lived in the backfield. He stopped the screen pass and was there for Hollywood Brown to make a nice tackle. So Daron Payne was dominant. The first half, he just could not be stopped. He was a man amongst boys out there. He really was. All three of those guys were just men amongst boys. They were. Montez Sweat, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. John Allen, I got some advanced stats on John Allen as well. Let me put these up real quick. Yeah, 4 pressures, 2 quarterback hits, 1 sack, 90.2 PFF grade. First in pass rush win rate per next gen stats. So he was pass rushing, getting back there, winning every rep. Other guys that were there, Jalen Carter is number 2, Christian Barmore from the Patriots is number 3, Fletcher Cox at number 4, Chauncey Golston from Dallas at number 4, tied, Grady Jarrett at number 7, DeForest Buckner at number 8. So these are the guys that were top 10 in pass rush win rate per next gen stats. And John Allen was number 1. That's just how good those guys were. They really stood out. They dominated. I love that kind of football. Abdullah Anderson did a good job too. He had a nice tackle as well. He had the half a sack. He was doing a good job stopping the run. He had an 89.8 PFF grade and 70.9 run defensive grade as well. James Smith-Williams made a couple plays too. Had a 79.0 PFF grade. Percy Butler was a 76.5. But other guys I have is Cam Curl, man. Cam Curl led the team in tackles, 10 tackles, tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection. Could have been an interception, but it would have been a tough interception. I think his dad, Greg Curl, tweeted out that if he got that interception, then the price of the bag would have went up or something like that. But Cam Curl made some big plays. That was a big play on Zach Ertz, who's a darn good tight end. And Cam Curl made a good play on that. That was a heads-up, nice read and reaction play on I want to say it was like second or third down. That was in the red zone too. So bend-don't break defense. That was a huge play by Cam Curl. He's looking for a bag as well. Derek Forrest, I thought he stood up, made a couple plays here and there. Sorry, my phone went off. Curtis Samuel played well too. 5 catches for 54 yards. He led our team in receiving. Had a nice catch in the red zone to set up that field goal. Longest catch was for 32 yards. That was a really nice pass by Sam Howell as well in the red zone in a 2-minute drill to set us up in field goal range. Cam Crow, Emmanuel Forrest with a pass breakup. I thought he did a good job. Deron Payne, I already talked about him. Tress Way did a good job punting the football. Jeremy Reeves on special teams had a good tackle as well. Jamison Crowder, I thought he did a good job. They signed Jamison Crowder to the active roster, which I'm happy for him. I thought it was well deserved. I thought he did a good job returning punts. Didn't have any big plays and had one called back because of Quan Martin had a block in the back penalty. But I thought Jamison Crowder provided some electricity there, and he has some potential there returning punts. I would say Terry McLaurin just didn't get a lot of targets. 2 catches for 31 yards. Jahan Dotson, they just didn't have big plays, and it's not their fault. 5 catches for 40 yards. They will have big plays as the season goes along. Cole Turner, 1 catch for 17 yards. Brian Robinson, wouldn't necessarily say he got a game ball, but I like the way he played. He runs really hard all the time. He runs super, super hard. Trying to say Casey Toohill, I thought he did a good job stopping his own read. James Smith-Williams was active in the backfield as well. So I thought some of those guys stood out for the defense as well. Now, Cody Barton graded really, really bad. I'm not going to say he was a dud, but he, in the run game, he struggled a little bit. 37.3 defensive grade and a 35.6 run defensive grade as well. 49.4 coverage grade as well. So he graded pretty darn bad. Andre Jones, the screen, I want to say it was to Rondell Moore or to Hollywood Brown. He lost contain and he gave up a big play. He graded pretty poorly per PFF with a 58.3 pass rush grade. Not bad. 60.9 defensive grade as well. Jamin Davis, I thought he had a good play running downhill. 75.0 defensive grade and a 82.7 run defensive grade. So we've been waiting for Jamin Davis to wake up. When he's running downhill, he's not thinking too much. That's when he's at his best. So I thought he made a couple good plays here and there. Kendall Fuller was solid for the most part. He made a good play on Hollywood Brown. Emmanuel Forrest already talked about his pass record. He had a 67.2 PFF grade and a 77.9 tackling grade as well. That's about it for the defensive side. We're going to move to some of the duds on the offensive side of the ball. I thought Andrew Wiley was pretty darn bad. I thought he struggled. The spin move, it was not Zaven Collins that put that spin move on Andrew Wiley. It was number 42. I don't even know his name. They got the sack strip fumble on Sam Howell, and then he got the scoop. He scooped it up as well. I want to say he stripped the fumble. He stripped Sam Howell, and that turned into a touchdown. That was on Andrew Wiley right there. That was a vicious spin move that he put on Andrew Wiley. Andrew Wiley didn't grade too bad. He graded a 69.9, pass blocking grade of 65.6. But I think he was a dud in my opinion. Charles Lano played well. He was quiet for the most part, and then when you're not told about a lot as a left tackle, that is a good thing. He had a 78.2 overall grade, a 70.9 pass blocking grade, 81.0 run blocking grade. Cole Turner, I thought he was fine. A dud is Logan Thomas with 2 drops. Had a drop early where he was pretty darn open where he should have caught the ball. And then of course Antonio Gibson is a dud for sure with that fumble with a 39.9 offensive grade and a 48.8 pass blocking grade and a 30.0 run blocking grade. And Logan Thomas got beat for a sack. And Antonio Gibson was on that side as well. So that's probably why Antonio Gibson's pass blocking grade is as bad as it is right there with a 48.8. Logan Thomas, 37.5 pass blocking grade as well. So they certainly were duds for sure. Cameron Cheeseman was awful as well with that snap. He's bounce passing like he's playing basketball out there. So he's got to clean that up. And Tressway did a good job of catching it for the punt. All right, lastly here, anybody that stood out per PFF, some grades just to look at. Sam Cosmi was a 71.1, 88.4 pass blocking grade by Sam Cosmi. I thought he did a good job. 44 pass block snaps with 0 hurries, 0 pressures, and 0 sacks by Sam Cosmi. So he had a darn good game out there as well. Curtis Samuel graded pretty kind of high, 68.5. Thought he did a good job catching the football. Nick Gates was kind of mid per PFF. Chris Rodriguez got a first down on that one play. So, but I will talk about Eric Bieniemy to wrap it up. Brian Robinson ran the ball 4 times in the first half, and he ended up with 19 carries. I thought he dropped Sam Howell a little too much in that first half, where we need to find our identity. And we went through this last year, and I don't want to bring up Scott Turner too much, but we were just passing the ball too much. When we finally found our identity as a running team, and I thought we could have ran the ball a lot more in the first half, to be honest. We were dropping Sam Howell too much, dropping him back too much. Yes, Sam Howell was holding on to the ball a little too long. Yes, the offensive line wasn't great either. He did miss De'Ami Brown, who was wide open. He stared down, I want to say it was Logan Thomas and Kavon Wallace. Almost had an interception. He threw the ball behind Terry McLaurin. Almost threw an interception there. But he had some good plays, too. Threw the ball across his body to Brian Robinson for a touchdown. Brian Robinson had a touchdown catch, so he played pretty well for the most part. And then he had a nice run for a touchdown as well. And, he was basically almost concussed by that dirty hit by Kaiser White. And then another player hit him, tried to go for his head again, and then put his legs on Sam Howell's head and just flopped him down. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was kind of like they had a bounty on Sam Howell a little bit out there. But yeah, Eric Bieniemy, and then the third and 6, I'm just not a fan of. A lot of you guys disagree with me on this, but we have the talent and the weapons where you got to finish a game. I get it, being conservative and all that, finesse, whatever. That's kind of the same stuff that Scott Turner would do, or he would just be finesse and kind of play scary football. I get our defense was balling. It's Josh Dobbs. But when you have Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, so much talent, you're telling me you can't get a first down on 3rd and 6? You're telling me you can't do that? I know the offensive line has been bad, but that's kind of like playing Scott Turner Heineke ball, where Scott Turner didn't believe in the offense, and Heineke's like, I'm just gonna take the easy way out or safe way out and run the ball on 3rd and 6. I see if it was 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. Of course, yeah, I'm just gonna do a screen pass or run the football. But you're up by 1 point? That's still a game where any other quarterback in this world still could have went down there and scored. Josh Dobbs just threw up all over himself and fumbled the football. So next week, that's not going to fly against Russell Wilson. So Eric Bieniemy, I was a little disappointed with the play calling there. The screen plays are still not working like they said in the offseason and training camp. I thought he dropped back Sam just a little too much. Didn't get Antonio Gibson in space, but was running Antonio Gibson through the tackles where he's fumble prone. So he's got to work on that. I'd rather see Chris Rodriguez do that. I'd rather see B-Rob do that. I know Antonio Gibson only got 3 carries. People were commenting that on my previous video, but still, come on, man. Play your players to your best strengths. And I know it's only one game, so we got a lot. There's a lot of games to go, and I think Eric Bieniemy will improve for sure. But just there was no rhythm. I was just not a fan of the play calling in this game, and honestly, I really didn't like it at all. But I do think he will improve for sure, and get Sam Howell out of the pocket too. When he's getting rushed and just our pass rush is getting cooked like they were, run some bootlegs, get Sam out of the pocket, run play options. Use Sam's legs, use that dual threat ability that Sam Howell has. So I do want to see some of that next week against the Broncos. So, all right, you guys know what you guys think. Like I said, the studs were the defensive line as a whole. The duds were basically the offensive line for the most part, except for Sam Cosmi and Charles Leno. Sadiq Charles did struggle out there as well a little bit. He had a 43.0 run blocking grade, but he had an 84.6 pass blocking grade. So we'll see how this offensive line gels, and Cheeseman has to pick it up too. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Helms Commanders, peace.